host of Cat's Cadenza, and today I am joined by Portland post-rock group Sam Adams. How are you guys doing?
Doing great.
Yeah,
Yourself?
good. I'm doing pretty good. It's a little early in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
The second coffee in, a little foggy, but that's okay.
Yeah.
So my first question for you guys is the name. I'm assuming it's a variation of your name.
Yeah. It was sort of a decision that we went on a tour with my name as the bill, and it just it's not. It doesn't quite describe the band well enough, so we decided to just kind of just shimmy one letter over.
Yeah.
So it's more about and Lisa writes a lot of the songs too now, so it feels right.
Yeah.
On the first, I think also on the first EP that you made,
It's kind of like a more
Sam
symmetrical.
designed the lettering for the actual cover, and it has SAMADAMS, even though we were called Sam Adams at that point.
But
So it kind of became a theme.
Yeah.
Well,
Roll
it'll be
with it.
easy.
No.
Yeah.
And also the mayor of Portland was Sam Adams at the time.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's pretty interesting.
So it was kind of important to not be billed as Sam Adams.
Yeah.
Because that ended in a bit of a scandal, and I mean that's not why, but
Interesting times for you guys then.
Yeah,
under
sure.
that name.
Yeah. The Willamette Week had an article with me, just like talking about the mayoral race, and they asked me not to prepare for it, and it was just not good.
Not good.
No, it was bad. But yeah.
So
But we're
right
past
now we're at the Modest Music Festival, second year for the Modest Music Festival. Have you guys been to Moscow, Idaho before? And what are your experiences here? And what's your favorite part about Moscow?
Oh yeah.
Gosh, I feel like the first time we played in Moscow was the Katherine Barner tour, which would have been 2013
Yeah.
or 2014. And we played at this place called Wanderer's Tavern, which I think it's like that way. It used to be.
I've never heard of it anymore.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
who knows if it's here anymore?
It
was a great place.
It was really fun.
Cool little community.
Yeah, really fun community of folks, and I think some of those folks are still around. But that was when we first played here, and we also connected with the KUOI crew, and we've done a couple of in studios there. I feel like we played a show here at One World with Tompton
From Seattle. Yeah, we played here so many times.
and we did get to come and play Modest Music Fest last year.
The Mikey's.
Yeah, at Mikey's. It's been
Nice.
fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a cool little town. I like how I just love walking around. And I mean, we were just talking this morning. It's so beautiful in the fall. Just the trees are changing, and it just it seems like to be a little bit ahead of Portland in that on that curve. But,
Yeah, I feel like we've met a lot of people in Moscow that are either now in Boise or a few of them are now in Portland. So there's definitely a connection of folks that seem to find themselves in different areas where we happen to be able to go as well. So yeah, I personally was really bummed that the Storm Cellar wasn't open today. I wanted to go in and
That's my favorite store in
do
Moscow.
some shopping.
Yeah.
Or at least some window shopping.
Yeah.
Oh well.
Well, I absolutely love your guys' music. It's very rock and roll, yet there's like a minimalistic sense to it, which makes it really intense. So where do your influences come from, and how did you decide on this sound that you guys play?
cool. Well, I feel like we're all kind of, the way I think about it, we're all kind of school musicians in some ways. I mean, my degree's in piano, so I'm not really doing a lot of that up on stage. And Lisa she got a degree in voice and
Chris was percussion.
Studied, yeah.
Yeah. So I kind of see us as like a chamber group almost, and so that is that kind of like, maintaining that sort of, when there needs to be space, there should be space, and there's an economy to what I try to strive for economy when we're putting these parts together, and yeah, it ends up being like, well, I can shake a tambourine with this hand, and I can play the guitar with this hand, and we can sing. And then Lisa's got her feet going on the bass pedals, and the organ has 3 keyboards on it, and Chris is playing like 2 drummers parts. So it's fun to see how far we can push ourselves in that model. That's like the fun challenge to the band.
Yeah, it definitely feels like we kind of have this. Oftentimes, we'll bring a song, to share to the group, and it's interesting thinking about where the song starts and where the song ends up. We have had certainly a few songs that have really come fully formed, but I feel like it just takes a lot of time to kind of arrange the parts and figure out like where to bring some of those themes back, or like what's the rhythmic idea in this piece, and that's kind of like a more of a classical approach to thinking about music, because I just remember in music school we did a lot of analysis that way, and I wouldn't say it's necessarily what we're like trying to do. Like,
it just
we're
kind of
not
comes
trying
out that
to
way.
like it's not anything that's trying to be sophisticated. I think it's just maybe the way that our brains kind of approach the material and like what we think is interesting to explore.
It's the sounds we
music.
like.
So yeah, that's I feel like I don't know. I mean, I think every band has their own dynamic and the way that they write songs, and I feel like a lot of the work that we do is just kind of thinking like, oh gosh, what would be like kind of fun and challenging to play.
I feel like a band that does that too is Deerhoof, and I've loved that band for just such a long. I mean, they're such a good band. They're really true to their format, but they just push. And they just push it so much, and the melodies are just so perfect, and yeah, they're just great. And there's lots of those kind of intense bands that. What are some other ones that we've played with?
We haven't played with Deerhoof.
Well, no, we haven't.
That would be so cool.
That would be amazing. I feel like Crown Larks was
Deerhoof, if you're
Crown
watching.
Larks was a good example of
Ava
that.
Luna
Ava
from
Luna.
New York is another example.
Yeah.
Or like Operator Music Band from New York.
Zula.
Yeah.
Heatwarmer.
Heatwarmer.
They're
from
like a
Seattle.
maximalist band.
Yeah.
They're so good.
Yeah. But I don't know, even Sam and Chris were super into the Dirty Projectors as well. And that's a live band that, like, when you watch them, you can listen to the record and you're like, oh wow, that's cool. And then you watch them live and you're like, oh wow, you're actually doing everything that you did on the record live.
Yeah.
Like, wow, that's amazing.
Very ambidextrous.
Yeah.
I'm searching for words.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
There's-
there's organ. That must be quite the time to play and learn how to play that.
we kind of started that because Sam's friend Nick gave us a free Wurlitzer organ.
Oh, wow.
He was like a collector of keys. He just had a space in his garage that he had all of these old things, and he was really into like analog synths.
Yeah,
And
their band's the Volt Per Octaves.
they're
And
like
an all-family, all-synth band.
yeah, it's really cool.
Hilarious. It's great.
But yeah, so Nick gave that to us, and then I remember, like 2011, Sam said, "I want you to play organ. I want you to learn how to play the organ for this." And so it was just, I remember it was like a process in the summertime. Sam wrote out some music for me for Coyote, and I would just go into the practice room, and I started just learning the hand part, right hand, and then I would do left hand,
Yeah.
and then I started pedals, and then I would try to put them together, and it was just that. It's just
Yeah.
like that kind of process, because I think learning something like organ, it's almost like if you've played piano, you have to then reteach your feet to do the patterns, because it doesn't always follow I feel like piano parts are often kind of linear, like you'll kind of follow a melody and it'll go up, or it'll skip down, or it does something that's either moving this way or this way. And with organ, it's like, the pedal parts are just kind of wild. So That took a long time.
I could imagine. I have
It's
enough hard of a time playing both my hands on a piano, and I could not imagine doing an organ.
Yeah, I mean it's
fun.
it's never perfect. I'm definitely excited to be better at it, but it's just such a fascinating instrument.
Yeah.
It's like, and it's funny once you do learn it, like you just don't even think about it anymore.
Yeah.
It just becomes something where it's like, oh yeah.
Until you sit on another organ.
Until you go to it, yeah. So we have a show coming up in Portland at this place called the Old Church, and they have an old pipe organ, and we're gonna play on it.
Uh-huh.
And so it has 2 sets. So our organ has like 1 octave of bass pedals, and this one has 2 octaves of bass pedals. And then it also just has, stops and all kinds of stuff. So
It's from 1886 or...
Yeah, 1884, 1886, somewhere in there. But yeah, it's just it's a challenging puzzle for sure.
So on your guys' Facebook bio, it says you want to rob your listeners of time.
Yeah.
A sense of time.
Uh-huh.
So what do you want your listeners and audience to feel after listening to your music or walking away from one of your performances?
Well, that idea of, I don't know. I guess, when we started the band, I told Chris, the first direction that we told Chris to do is just avoid one at all costs.
Oh, yeah.
And no 4 on the floor allowed. That was during, I think Mumford & Sons was kind of big, and I was kind of sick of that.
The stomp rock kind
Yeah,
of music.
I was a little sick of that. But, it was kind of a reaction against that. But, I don't know.
Was that difficult or weird for you, Chris, to not be playing on one?
It was definitely an odd thing, because it's just as a drummer you're trained to provide that downbeat. But it was also a really great challenge and a new way to look at music, so that was exciting, and I enjoyed it for sure.
Yeah, it just makes you want it more.
Yeah.
When it happens. Yeah, I think you just don't. I don't want the rhythms are kind of. I don't want to say it. Well, I'm organic. I don't want to. They should be alive, and I think that they should have personality, and they should describe the people who are playing them, and I think that it's fun to feel that subjectivity sort of open up. There's something about really tight music as well, but it's really kind of magical how tight we can play, even in that sort of subjectivity of rhythm, where it works because we know each other so well and we've played together for so long, and our parts are so interdependent that it just sort of has this. It's unpredictable, but it's reliable.
Yeah.
We were talking a little bit the other day about how it all works, between the 3 of us. Mm-hmm. And it's interesting because there are some songs where you don't really need to look at the other person. You just feel it. And that's a really special thing, that I really love about what we do, because it does have this different sense of time. We were talking about lining beat grids as well, and how it's just this kind of it's this just very strange map, and I think we're just kind of all reading that map. I don't know. It just has this different feel to it, and it's not really something I don't know exactly what the words are to describe it. We get the question all the time, well, what kind of music do you make? Or how would you describe your band? I'm just
It's hard to call it rock.
Yeah.
I think it's more. It's just it's just an experience. It's something like if there's something I would want people to take away from the live performance, like it would be an experience, like to maybe think about music kind of through a different lens, or like to really just enjoy a performance, and like have some sort of like just like puzzle. Whoa, I don't really know what that was. Or,
it's like, well, like I don't know. There's I used to be a huge, well, I still am a big fan of Steve Reich, the minimalist composer, and his music there's a lot of that sort of phasing music that the rhythms are there and they're true to themselves, but they just sort of misalign and they kind of create sort of more of a texture than a rhythm that's like it's a metered rhythm. And to me that's, I don't know, it's sort of, yeah, it invites you to sort of experience the music in a way that's outside of that kind of like hypnotic, like downbeat sort of authoritarian sort of like rock time. But I love that stuff too, frankly. I mean, who doesn't like to dance? Yeah. That's the other thing. Like, we're trying to find ways to sort of bring in that lately. So, because it's, I mean, we all like to just move, and it's fun to move together. So you need that beat to sort of move together, but it's nice to find the little places in between the beats where you can sort of push it a little bit.
Yeah. So what's the next biggest goal for your guys' group?
Well, we've been talking about what the next like batch of music is going to be, and I don't know. We did a tour over in Europe in the spring, and it's kind of this strange time musically where I think people really do like dance music.
Yeah.
Not that that's strange, but it's just, it seems to be something that is like very powerful. So we've been kind of thinking like, gosh, how could we take that idea of like, really like computers making music, and how do we incorporate that, but also do something to kind of make it our own.
Yeah.
Or just respond to it.
Like, or just kind of, interact with it a little bit and see what comes out.
I keep on hearing these songs on the internet or on YouTube of they're generated by algorithms. And it's just because for some reason they just want to make it so the musicians are no longer needed. I mean, they're hilarious. There's like a fake Beatles song that was, I mean, it's mostly lyrics, I think, that they're doing it with. But I've heard an algorithm attempt to create a Christmas song like from scratch just by looking at a picture. Yeah. And it's terrifying. Like, it's not a good song.
Yeah. I know, and if you're doing a Christmas song, you have to have the Christmas chord, D minor 7 flat 5.
Oh. Yeah. They should. I need to like listen to that and see if it's in there. I mean, if it is, it's like random.
Yeah.
It's just really fun. You should. Yeah, I don't know.
Some great sound effects.
Yeah, we're getting some bathroom sounds.
It'll be a fun time editing.
But but I don't know. I'm pretty sure that like is a testament to the fact that like it's really hard to make money doing music. It's really hard to have a career doing music, but people still do it more and more. So like increasing the access to the ability to make music is just been such a gift to the world. I would think we're still trying to work through that. Yeah. As like a human species, frankly, or like just as a, I don't want to say as a society because it's just the whole world, but yeah, I don't know. What was I talking about again?
Oh, incorporating
the computer stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, so just trying to find ways that we can kind of join that kind of discussion, I guess.
Well, I think technology is great. There's so many, there's so many benefits. Like, I feel like you can really economize things and you can make it really efficient.
Yeah.
And that's definitely a positive element of it.
We've been a Luddite band for a long time, too.
Yeah.
We've been kind of like anti new things.
But honestly, the first time that we went over to Europe, we used to play on a literally like a parlor organ.
Yeah.
So we carried around that Wurlitzer, and
That's crazy.
it just had so many problems.
Yeah.
I remember we played a show one time in Boise, and we had taken we had put the organ in the back of the van, and like it was really cold. And so when we brought it out and we started doing our sound check, the D was just droning. Like you couldn't get the D pedal to
Because the
stop.
circuitry had shrunk.
And so we just started to and we had things like that would happen. Like notes would just start to kind of crackle and fizzle out, and like we opened up the back of the organ, and it was just, I mean, it was like a spaghetti factory of colored wires.
Yeah.
And so we kind of, when we went to Europe the first time, we were like, we have to make something that still uses this sound from this organ, but is airplaneable.
Yeah.
You know.
So are you guys playing on a Korg now, or
I sampled the old organ.
Okay.
And it's through a DAW through Reaper.
Yeah.
And it's literally just we have a big wooden box that Chris's friend made for us. So it still feels kind of like custom. And it has I put a little Wurlitzer badge on the top.
Okay.
And yeah, it's just the cheapest MIDI controllers we could get inside, but it looks like an organ.
Cool.
And then we have MIDI foot pedals that we got off Craigslist. So
Nice.
still doing a little punk rock.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you know,
Not as fragile.
yeah, it's
No,
like way
definitely not.
better.
It's much more reliable. It's cool too.
And you can
'cause-
expand it too now. Like now we can.
Yeah,
and we're
yeah,
talking
yeah.
about adding, like, what if we used this MIDI that we're doing, and like, what if we had lights or something like that? I mean, that would be kind of interesting. It'd be different. But it's just stuff that we can explore now.
Yeah.
It's just the door is open and we're just exploring the room a little bit. So
Yeah.
it's cool. It's exciting.
So where can the audience find your guys' music?
We have Bandcamp. We do put a lot of all of our releases are on there.
SimmitAmes.bandcamp.com.
Yeah, and then we're online, social media.
Spotify,
Yeah.
Apple Music.
Yeah.
I think we're on Tidal.
Oh, really?
I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah. It's definitely it's cool to have so many ways to listen. I would definitely say buying music is very helpful to us.
Yeah.
You know, versus just going on Spotify.
Yeah.
But if Spotify's the way to go, then I guess it's the way to go. So
You gotta roll with it.
yeah.
Well, is there any last words you'd like to say before I let you guys go?
Thanks.
Yeah, thank you guys. This has been
Yeah,
fun.
this is great. It's cool. Well, we also pieced together the KGUR, that it's cougar.
Oh yeah. K-U-G-R, yeah.
Oh,
Spells
K-U-G-R?
It spells cougar.
K-U-G-R.
Yeah,
Okay,
That's
yeah,
great.
yeah, yeah,
I like
yeah.
that.
So,
Yeah, I thought
Good.
that was funny. It's very clever. So.
all right. Well, thank you guys.
Yeah.
Thanks for
Thank
having
you.
us.
If you guys enjoyed this video, make sure to go down below and click that like button. Also, if you want more interviews like this, make sure to subscribe. I also have a weekly radio show on KUGR.org, and I'll be putting all the information for that down below. So thank you guys for watching, and thank you guys for sitting
Thank
down
you.
with me.
Thanks so much.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thanks so much.